crew member there who is said to have been, well, tested for marijuana, that marijuana traces were found in your test samples. Tell us also about that. And ordinarily, are crew members, pilots, allowed to maybe take alcohol, marijuana, or any substance that could, bend their faculties, their reasoning ordinarily?
Is this a Eurospace politics against airpeace or just a mistake? If it is a mistake, it must be a very expensive mistake. Now, this lady you're about to watch, her name is Victory Maduneme. She's a customer service personnel with airpeace, or you can call her air hostess as they used to call them. Now, it is prohibited worldwide that if you are working like a customer personnel or a pilot in an airplane that is flying, you are prohibited to be taking alcohol, marijuana, all those substances that can, make you to misbehave. Now, there is an incident that happened. Let me summarize this to you. And they asked them to go and do tests. It happens that after doing tests, normally it ought to be a rapid test, right? Now, they refused to bring her result at the stipulated time. And later they brought her result. They called to come and take it that she tested positive that there is marijuana in her system. Do you know the consequences of this? Now, I think in Nigeria, I don't know if there is any law that can send her to prison automatic. I think they are going to blacklist you. Can't get any work concerning, airplane or flight in the whole world. And that is going to be a very bad thing. And airpeace will terminate her contract instantly. So this lady said, no, this is not possible. So I have never taken this. So how can it be in my system? After the whole tension did and done, and they asked her to go for a higher hospital to conduct the test, she went there and everything turned out to be negative. Now, I heard the news when they conducted this test at the first time. What people were saying is that airpeace is using people who are taking drugs. That was wrong. So, secondly, you see, if it is in Germany, in China, in North Korea, Iran, even Saudi Arabia, naming countries that have a very severe punishment if you tested something like this, it is straight to 3 years imprisonment. Just imagine what a doctor did to this lady. If not that, they sent her to Eurospace Clinic. That is the hospital that's supposed to conduct the main test. And they went there, they found out that what the other doctor gave her was false. So this lady is saying that if people are playing politics against airpeace, please play it with airpeace. Don't use, airpeace workers to begin to play the politics to dent their image and so on and so forth. I want you to listen to this lady and let me know what you think about this.
A member there who is said to have been, tested for marijuana, that marijuana traces were found in your test samples. Tell us also about that. And ordinarily, are crew members, pilots, allowed to maybe take alcohol, marijuana, or any substance that could, bend their faculties, their reasoning ordinarily? Is that allowed at all, whether airpeace or aviation generally? Just tell us what you know.
Okay, thank you for having me. My name is Victory Maduneme.
Right. Victory.
And to answer your question, a cabin crew or in aviation thoroughly, nobody is supposed to take alcohol or any drug at all before coming for a flight. So going forward to the question you asked, on the 13th of July, after we had landed, which was the day of the incident, after we had landed and we had to wait for NSIB to come on board, then they came, started their investigation, and 5 hours later, they asked us to come into a room for them to do a test. So we all went into the room, and our blood samples were taken and our urine were also taken. So, and normally, when those kind of tests is done, immediately after a drug test and an alcohol test, you're supposed to get your result within few hours or few minutes, right? But this was not given to us that day. Then 2 weeks later, 10 days later, which was on on the 23rd, if I'm mistaken, sorry. On the 6th, I was called by NCA to come and pick up a letter. Then I went to NCA in Lagos, and I opened the letter and I was in utter shock to see what was in my result, actually. So I went to go and see the doctor, and the doctor said, I told the doctor that I'm very shocked to see this in my results, and it's not possible for me to have this in my system. So he asked me I should go back and come back in 7 days replying their letter. But I didn't wait for the 7 days. I had to respond, which is on the 7th. I sent most of the documents to you. So I replied the letter back to them on the 7th. And they didn't get back to me until on the dates. They got back to me on the 27th that I should come to the office. I went to the office and I was handed a letter, and the letter says I should do a reconfirmatory test, which I accepted to do. And they sent me to go and meet a Dr. Adetunji of Cooper Aerospace Clinic, which is the licensed clinic for this kind of test. Then when I went to go and meet the doctor, and he came to see me, then he asked me that marijuana usually stays in the system for 90 days. That if I had something like this, that he's advising me that I should go back, then come back later when I feel like everything has cleared from my system. And I was like, no. If I go back and come back later, it actually proves that, yes, I have this kind of thing in my system, that I want to do the test, which the test was done to me, and it came out, everything came out negative. So, and there's a question I need to ask NSIB. If marijuana was found in my system, were they not supposed to tell this to my airline, and they're supposed to stop me from flying? Why? Because I'm a risk to the passengers on board, and my license would have been taken away from me. But no, they didn't inform them of this till after two months. This is like the 2nd month, and it's just coming out, and they're spoiling the image of the airline. I sent a copy of my results to you. Everything is there. Everything was clear. If marijuana was supposed to stay in the system for 90 days, this thing was done within a month. I did my test within a month. You can check it. And nothing was found in my system. If NSIB have a smearing campaign against the airline, they should keep the innocent people away from this. If not for the kindness of my chairman, they would have sacked me and blacklisted me. And once that is done, no airline in the world, I repeat, no airline in the world will pick me, because now they've painted me as this person that has drug in her system. This is really very bad.
Okay, let me,
And in the next 72 hours, if NIB do not come and reiterate whatever they have said against me, then I think we should sue. This is really very bad.
Right.
This is pure defamation of character.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Let me bring in David Bernard, the co-pilot in that, on that aircraft. I mean, listening to Victory Maduneme, she believes that there might be some underlying undercurrents going on, probably an attempt to smear the image of the airline. Do you have cause to believe that there's any such project going on? And I'd also like to ask, ordinarily, do you take alcohol at all? And if you do, at what point before you go, fly an aircraft? I mean, what's the duration in terms of, because I hear 8 hours before flying. But ordinarily, do you take alcohol? Just, help us understand, what could have happened that, would have led NSIB to actually discover, even in the littlest amount, trace of alcohol in your blood or urine.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I don't take alcohol or take any drugs or whatever. I don't drink. And second of all, We're in 2025. I mean, if you're trying to do an alcohol and blood test, we have something called a breathalyzer where you have to do your test right there. You blow in your breath into the breathalyzer. It checks in the amount of alcohol in your system. And then, but these guys at the Port Harcourt airport, they took our blood sample and our urine on the 13th. And then they are coming back on the 23rd of July for the results. I mean, how long does it take for a results to be out?
That's 10 days.
And then second of all, a blood test doesn't even make no sense. I mean, we're in 2025. And then we paid a lot of money for this flying school and typewriting. You can't just jeopardize somebody's image. And then telling me I take alcohol and then I don't see it in your presence, you take the test out into non-aviation recognized hospital. So it doesn't just make no sense at all. And I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do no alcohol.
Right. Before I let you go, how frequently these tests carried out? How much of a routine is it? How frequently does NSIB carry out these tests to ensure that pilots, crew members are not under the influence of alcohol or any kind of psychotropic drug? Dr. Bernard, David Bernard?
I don't know about NSIB, but...
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead, please.
Okay, I don't know about NSIB, but this drug and alcohol test is a random checks that our company do to crew members. So you don't just know it, you can randomly be checked, if you're reporting for duty. And then you're not supposed to have 0.02 grams of alcohol in your blood, and you're not supposed to take alcohol 8 hours before reporting on duty or on standby.
All right, thank you very much, David Bernard, Air Peace co-pilot on